Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Hi, I'm Claudia Marion, and I'm a resident of Toronto, Ontario. I'm Canadian, and I have a couple of businesses. I wear the hat as a CEO for two companies at the moment. One is Stork and Dove, and we make products for new and expecting moms. And the other one is Time to Unwind, and we make the product Kite, which is a beverage, actually, I should say.
Awesome. So how do you manage your time? I mean, being a CEO of two different companies, that's a lot of work. So how do you do that?
Well, it's been pretty tricky in the past couple of years, especially with all of the economic changes and inflation. We've really felt that in Canada. I use Google Chrome and toggle between. That's my only real hack. It's just a lot of work. I have recently actually divested of one of the companies because it is too much during these times. While things were slow and steady prior to the pandemic, it wasn't such a difficulty, but certainly in the past couple of years, there's just a lot of balls in the air. So I have chosen recently to focus on Stork and Dove.
Awesome. So in terms of Stork and Dove, let's just dive deeper into that one since that's your main focus now. So how did you get the idea for this business?
Oh, wow. I was literally breastfeeding my daughter in 2014 and thought there's got to be something that I can be doing or just ideating, creating. Once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. She was on my lap, and during my spare time, I was looking at ideas and for a new business that I could really seed over the first year while I was at home. And from that, and for the fact that I was actually breastfeeding her at the time, I decided upon hacks for breastfeeding moms, and the rest is history. We started trading in 2016 and incorporated in 2017. So by the time she was 3, it was a company, and it was taking off.
Awesome. So exactly, I'm just curious, right, in terms of that business, what percent of your business is retail versus e-commerce, Amazon? What are your main channels for the business?
Well, that's a great question. So because of the pandemic, we really have focused more on online, or had focused more online in the past couple of years, but we really are a multi-channel company. In Canada, it's very hard to actually focus online unless you have products that can carry the cost of postage, because for the most part, the consumer does want that product delivered to them at a fixed low cost or for free, and can't really compete with them, with the Amazons of the world. And so making that choice because of necessity, when the aisles that weren't just grocery were closing all over Canada and through parts of the States during the pandemic, we did start to drive more of the online traffic. And, it is building. We've just started a whole reboot of our website to drive that. In the background, there's been a lot happening with the company. Actually, word is already out, so I can say it, that we did a big merger with the company Milk and More. So my brand was originally Boons, so lactation cookies and bars and such. And we merged with a company that had grown only during the pandemic. They started during the pandemic, so they didn't have grandfathered in-store pricing. So they pushed into the online channel during the 2-3 years, while we were very much grandfathered in store and having a trickier time playing with our price points with inflation, and looking at the issues that my own company had at the time, and having a weak online presence, we decided to do a merger. So I merged with my competitor, who's awesome online, and we've been merged for a couple of months now. I'm pushing their products into stores, and I should say our products into stores that weren't already in stores, and vice versa. So it's been really interesting, but we're being scrappy. It's the times we live in require that.
So is your focus only on the Canadian market, or are you selling in the US as well?
I sell in the US as well. We've been in Target in the US. We're not present in Target right now. We're looking at that again. It's simply for the focus, kind of reverting back to Canada in the past couple of years. Sorry, I have a puppy in the background.
No worries.
Happens to have the noisiest toy ever in his mouth. So I could change that in a sec. We have actually had a presence in the US, mostly online, at Amazon and such. So while I was not strong online as a company, I've been fairly strong online in Amazon in both the USA and Canada, with organic growth. As well, we have an awesome business partner in Texas where you're located, and that's HEB, and we love them and looking to expand our range in HEB as well.
So you're in HEB and Central Market, or just HEB?
Yeah, we're actually in all the HEBs.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. They're amazing. They really are. And it's no surprise that they win like the best retailer awards every year. They're really incredible and, ethical as well. We are in Walmart, and we're vendorized with Walmart in the States. So we should be going in there fairly soon. We're in all the Walmarts in Canada, and then they as well are an incredible business partner for us. And going to Loblaws in Canada shortly.
For sure. So what is your biggest focus for 2024? Like, are you looking to kind of ramp up this direct-to-consumer channel or Amazon, or really just doubling down on your retail strategy? What are you really locked in and focused on?
For me, it's margin. So where we're getting our highest margins is we're focused. Of course, we have a lot of grandfathered customers and pricing. We're putting 5 new products into stores across Canada and into the US at the moment, all with higher margins. A really exciting project has come out of the merger. So we've taken on another 1,000 stores. But the focus this year is really to grow, but we're very much focused on paying down any debt that we have, and also on, the expectations of investors these days are to be EBITDA positive and also in the black. And those two together are, a few years ago when everyone was top line, it would have been completely like a joke to expect that of businesses. But nowadays it's just the standard. And we plan to get there in the next year and then grow from there.
For sure. So how do you measure something in your business like customer lifetime value?
That's another good question, because our core product that we've grown since 2015 is lactation cookies. And most moms don't choose to breastfeed for longer than a year. And many moms are not using our products until they start to have possibly some issues at around 4 months, when, baby's more active and the supply and demand kind of gets thrown off a little bit at that time. And it's just natural, and it happens, and moms will pick up our products, and they're so loyal until they stop breastfeeding, and then they fall off. So at the moment, we are actually increasing our line to include products for babies. So basically postnatal products, that moms, they're taking a brand that they've known, that they trust, and picking up a product for their baby that is amazing as the Baby Boons. They expect that, and we give that, Baby Boons or Milk and More products. Milk and More is also very much established in the smoothie category. So as in, not smoothie category, I should say, just the mixes and blends. So we have mixes and blends for the whole family, and very much pre and postnatal and beyond. So we're very keen to move outside of that space that is singularly breastfeeding. We have been outside of it for a while, but we're just not as known as we would wish to be. So we will have Baby Boons and Milk and More mom products out there soon.
So do you have like a lot of moms that might tell their friends about it, for example, when they're done breastfeeding, if they share with their friends, and that's kind of like this referral method that you've used to get more customers, or what does that look like for you?
We do. We actually do. Moms talk. We all know that. And they're an exceptional community. They meet at the mom groups. So they will shake up their community. When they are with child, they will find a new community because, they're not all, their friend group isn't all having babies typically at the same time. So they reach out and they find new moms and they expand their friend group at that time and meeting new moms. And that continues for some time. So they talk, but additionally, we do have a core group of incredible influencers that work with us every day. They're not paid influencers so much as they're real moms who are using our products and, just want to tell the world about them. So they're incredible and we love them.
So what is the biggest challenge that you're facing in your business right now?
Having recently merged with another company, it's always going to be a challenge to have a new team. And we do have a new team. We love each other. Our children have spent time together. Everyone's fantastic, but really finding the roles within the company that suit each of us best, very important. That has been a bit of a challenge. We're working through it. And my new team is amazing. And we all have the same end goal. On top of that, clearly financial challenges are at the forefront, I think, of every business at the moment with inflation and just the demands at this time. It's been very difficult to navigate that. There's, the investor sentiment isn't there. So again, as I started before, we are just being scrappy and focusing on those margins. And that's our plan, to grow probably minimally in the next year. Minimal, perhaps. I think we'll grow a lot more than minimal, but we're not really looking to grow exponentially. Although we'd love to, we're going to save that till next year.
For sure. So obviously now in 2024, many companies are using high-level technology like AI in their business. So do you currently use AI? And if not, where can the AI come in and add value?
We do use AI a little bit. It's certainly, we have used it to generate a number of items over the past year. Mostly that would be within marketing. So we all know that for SEO to rank higher, you can't have the same words. So just mixing up our statements and such so that we can have the same statement or the same general statement out there a number of times in different areas is helpful to SEO. So that's a very simple way of using AI for us. We really try and be authentic. It's a core value to us. And so although we do that to try and breach the algorithms and bots that are out there, we don't very much use it otherwise. Perhaps in a couple of job postings to try and get a little bit more traction or say things a little bit differently. But as of this point, we really haven't done a lot with AI.
Makes sense. So obviously, I guess one possibility you could say is that many companies, especially like in this unique space that you're in, use AI to kind of explain products, like as a chat feature. Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, we do that to a degree, but as I was saying, we have core statement, our core copy, and then mix it up a little bit for SEO and such. We haven't really plugged it in otherwise, and so that's very much the old school use of AI, where I'm going to a bot and saying, hey, rewrite this in a way that is, has more adjectives, just very, very simple use of it. But certainly we will get more into it, but it has to be within structures of our company and to abide by our core values for sure.
For sure. So what would you say is like the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this company?
Before I started this company, I had other companies, so I was fairly wise about what was ahead. So I knew that there would be 24/7 times and such. What I didn't know was when you get to 1 million, the bar is raised. You're not big, basically. I think when your feet on the ground and you're starting a company, you think, oh, wow, this could be $1 million company, or this could be a $10 million company. And you think that getting to 1 million is huge and you'll have exponential growth after that. But really, exponential growth comes after 10 million when you have a lot of investors. So what I've experienced is that proof of concept, when you're a startup, proof of concept is 1 million. You have to have 1 million in sales. And then as soon as you hit 1 million in sales, proof of concept is 3 million. And then you get to 3 million, it's 7, then it's 10. I didn't know that. And I've experienced that for the past number of years, that, the bar just goes higher. It's a tough one. This is in Canada, mind you. It might be a little different in the US, but definitely that's my experience here. The bar just keeps getting higher for your proof of concept.
Well, yeah, I think it was Kevin O'Leary always said, it's not a real business until it hits over 5 million. think you used to say 1 million, but now for sure 5 million. Like the bar does go higher, especially with inflation. So
Yeah, it's a big jump.
for sure. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you see things going for your business?
A year from now, we will have our higher margin products in market. Actually, some of them are in the market already, and more will be in market next month. And our revenue will be very much generated from our new products that have gone to market or going to market this year, as opposed to the grandfathered products. Having been the incumbent in the business in Canada meant that I had products on the market since 2016. It's been very hard to move the dial with a lot of the big box stores in terms of what we're charging, so our price point in store. And we've taken a huge hit on our margins while the stores have maintained their margins, or on the shelf they'll add $1, and they can have that flexibility, but we haven't been given the same flexibility in terms of clawing back at our own. By next year, we'll look at the majority of our revenue being driven by higher margin products, and eventually over the next couple of years, we'll move out the grandfathered products as we've introduced newer with higher price points as well, because $10.99 product, it's just really not sustainable in the market we're in. When that product was $9.99 back in 2014, it's just been really tough. And I know it's tough for anyone in this market, but I really have a lot of respect for the brands that have been more established, kind of 5 to 10 years. So we're established in stores prior to the pandemic, because they're carrying a huge cut to their margin, and they can't be nimble. When you're in stores, they're all, all of their, one of our big problems is that Amazon's staring at Walmart, and Walmart's staring at Loblaws, and they're all picking up on a price point, and nobody will change that price point, even though I've directed them to change the price point. Where does it start? Nobody wants to be the first to change it, and that causes a complete lockout. And so I can't grab my margins if they're not grabbing theirs. We'll have that water behind us, our turmoil behind us in 2025.
Yeah, that's exciting, and we're rooting for you. So if somebody watching this wanted to reach out, do you mind sharing your website or social media? I guess best ways to get in contact.
Yeah, we're at storkanddove.com. So www.storkanddove.com, where you can follow us. Milk and More, also Booby Boons, and additionally in our main site on Instagram and Facebook is Stork and Dove. Okay, we're also on TikTok. Yeah, and Milk and More predominantly at the moment, but we're changing that. Like I said, it's the merger is new, and we have been really focused on the back end, so not so much visibility except for the new website that is the amalgamation. That's very clear on the website. When you go there, it represents the two brands. So yeah, and feel free to reach out. You can hello at Milk and More, etc. Forward at Stork and Dove. They're all on there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks. All right. Bye.